Alright, hello. You are invited to play a multiplayer language game with probably me and other people. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't do this a lot, but let's see how it goes. Already failed. There we go. Click. What we will cover is the core of the game. Then we will go through the rules, points, and pressure of the game. What happens after guessing, because it's a guessing game. Then we will talk about fluency, progress, and unlocks. Then how to join the game, what's coming next, and a quick disclaimer. Okay, all right. The core of the game. How does that work? So we have describers and guessers, and we have a secret. Word. Here, for example, we can see in this first row. This is turn 1. Player 1 becomes the describer. They have a secret word and they have to describe it to the other players, which are the guessers, right? And then on the next turn, the next player will be a describer and the others have to guess, and so on and so forth. That's the core of it. Then after guessing, you enter a discussion phase. The secret word gets revealed, and then you can make a sentence chain, right? For example, here the word is teacher. That's the secret word that the turn was about. So you can here, for example, make something very sassy and try to use the word teacher, right? And then players in their own fields, for example, player 1 in their own field, they write whatever. For example, I don't like my teacher, and the next player can say because, and the third player can say my cat, and so on and so forth. And we end up with a masterpiece like this, right? I don't like my teacher because my cat smells weird, but that's okay. Yeah, I think that's funny. I don't know about you. It can become really funny. That's what I think. All right, next. Roles, points, and pressure. How does the point system work, right? So how do describe points work? Let's start with that. So you are the little cat here, right? And you have here some points, right? You can maximum get 120 and minimum 0 in this case with this word, right? For the first guesser, you get 50% of the points. For the next guesser, you get 25, then you get the rest, right? So the first guesser is the most important one because that means that you have described enough so that it's actually guessable, okay? That's how the describer points work. Furthermore, there is an expose button, right? This button is used to expose your drawing, right? So if you're describing and you perhaps can't land guesses because it's difficult to describe, then you can expose your drawing and then you can talk about the drawing, right? Obviously in your target language, the language you're trying to learn. But you get only 70% points for guesses made after you expose the drawing, right? So that's a little penalty. So you have to be strategic about it. Yeah. Also, this is supposed to be a dog. I don't know if you have seen this dog before, but it's from a funny meme. I think you can search for a dog drawing contest. I think it's quite fun. That's it for the expose or the describer points and the exposed function. Now for the guesser points. You are here, the little cat, let's say. You get 100% of the available points that are here for guessing in the target language. Then you get 70% for guessing in native language, right? So if for example, you're trying to guess a word, you know the word, but you can't just say it, for example, in Spanish or Japanese, then you can just enter it in English, right? Because it still indicates that you understand the language, but you just get a little bit less points, yeah? Then when the first person guesses, the points start dropping, right? And the more people guess, the faster it drops. And if the points drop so much that you reach 0 or you reach the minimum amount of points you can play for, then a free hint appears. And this hint you can use to help you along the way, right? Here you can see somebody revealed or exposed their drawing, a beautiful drawing. The secret word here is supposed to be tired. You don't know that. So you use the hint. What happens when you use a hint? Here, in Spanish, tired would be cansado, right? So here you have a hint. It's revealing some letters, not all of them. So you can still try and guess, right? And by this point, you can also just choose to surrender the word with reveal now, right? You can just reveal now and just skip it, right? It might, because you might get annoyed about it or whatever. So that's how the hint button works. Now, what happens after guessing? Well, we already covered that a little bit. You get the sentence change stuff. You can also just chat, right? That's it. You can also just start chatting. Also, you can go in and look at the stats, see who did what and when, how they performed. For the nerds, those that are curious, if you want to check that out, you can do that. You can also talk about it, whatever. Also, the describer, after the next describer, when the game is over, the round is over, from previous word, you can select the word and then skip discussion, right? To just push the next round, to just start the next round faster, right? And then you start a vote. People can vote saying they're ready, and then the next round starts and you can start describing. That was it. Now, fluency, progress, and unlocks. How does this work? Well, here we have, for example, bronze and silver words, right? The harder words give more points. The more points you get, the higher rank you achieve, and the higher rank you get, the harder the words become. Pretty simple. So you play this a couple times, you learn the words, you become good at describing and guessing, you rank up, harder words unlock, and that's how we try to make you. We want to make it so that you can actually become really good at the language, right? Through this more social method. Rank is only updated when playing the ranked game mode, and rank is also only updated after a full game. Yeah, then you can see your rank points moving and all that kind of stuff. Now, how to join? It's pretty straightforward. There's a link to join our Discord in the description of this video. And also you can join via Kaidoku.io. After you enter your name in the website, you can look at the link at the bottom after entering your name, and there's a link to join the Discord. You can also, if I send you a message or somebody send you a message with this video link, they can probably send you an invite link too. Next. Now, when you join the Discord, you should watch out for events for now. And in the future, we of course want to make it so that you don't even need to watch for events. It just happens all the time. Event information is in the events channel in the Discord. Make sure to vote on the time you would like to participate. That's important so that we know who comes and you get a seat and stuff like that. You can vote for multiple options, right? So here, for example, we have a Spanish test event that was Sunday, 29th of March at this time, and another one at this time, right? Then you can vote for them. You can vote for both. You can also vote for the Japanese if you want. That's it. Then what's coming next? Well, we're gonna add GIFs in the chat to make it even more memey, like more memes. Memes are good. Memes are good for the heart. They're good for the health. We need memes. Also, we're gonna introduce in-game functionality so that you don't need a Discord channel to play the game. You can play, just drop in and use the microphone there. And then we're gonna introduce a new role. This role will be support, right? The support role will be able to talk to the describer. It's a guesser that does not have access to the secret word. They can talk to the guesser, or they can talk to the describer, and essentially make a small conversation so that the other guessers can listen for that too, right? You can choose to try to support the describer, nudge them towards a better description, or give them ask clarifying questions. You can ask in your target language or your native language. It doesn't really matter. Both get practice anyways, and people get to listen more. And there are more speaking opportunities throughout the game. So that's going to be the support role. Also, we will introduce a new exchange mode, which will make it possible for native English speakers and native Spanish speakers, for example, to play simultaneously using their own target language, right? So a native Spanish speaker would speak in English, and a English speaker will speak in Spanish. I'm gonna see how I can tweak that, but that's essentially to introduce even more exposure to the language you're trying to learn and get contact with actual native speakers in the language you're trying to learn. Yeah. Also, we will add a add friend functionality in the game, so that you can, for example, if you find someone from Japan, or you find someone from Brazil or wherever in the world, you can add them as friend and maybe play with them some more or make a big group or whatever. That's also another feature we would like to introduce in the future. Lastly, a quick disclaimer. This is a work in progress, of course. There is not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of games going on currently. We are starting with weekly stuff, then we will try to push it for daily stuff, and then just have it hopefully be constant events all the time. We want people like you to join us. We want feedback. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you think should be tweaked, what you think should be changed, and the things will change according to feedback. Right? We want to make this a really good language learning experience. I've already added stuff from people that played games with us, and it's it's some nice improvements, I think. And also, early bets become certified cool. Yeah, you get a certified cool role in the Discord, and like all cool and stuff. Yeah, that's what's up. That's it. That's the video. Join us if you would like. I hope to see you. That's it. I'm really excited about it. Whew. Adios.